Hello, everyone. This is Denise D Nice, and I wanted to welcome you guys to training or lack thereof. So, on today's episode, I wanted to talk about having clear roles in the workplace. And so, this comes in handy, especially with someone who is onboarding, who is new. It just comes in handy just to know that there is a line of responsibility, a line of management, and power in the workplace, so to speak. And so what I mean by having clear roles, it's not just between the actual roles, the actual levels of supervision in the business. It's also what is your job? And so the first part of this conversation is in fact about having clear roles as far as the hierarchy, so to speak, in the business. And so it's it is very important that it is evident to everyone what the hierarchy is in the business. And so this doesn't apply to everybody. Everybody does whatever business they want to do, but this is based upon my personal experience, is that I love it when I know exactly who is who, what is their role, what is their level of authority within the business. And so I'm talking, I need to know when I'm coming in, I need to know who is a manager, who is a supervisor, who is a lead, who is a shift lead, and then everybody else. I need to know who's on the same level as me. So there have been jobs that I've gone into and I had no idea who I was talking to. I didn't know if it was a manager. I didn't know if it was someone on my same level. I didn't know that this meant that they were higher than me. I had no idea. And so when you're onboarding people or just kind of getting your business together in general, it is very good just to have a very clear line of authority, a line of the levels of who is leading the business right now, who is at the tippity top, who is under them, who is under them, who is under them, and who is everybody else. Because when I'm coming in and I'm with everybody else, I don't know who is who. And so you keep assuming that I know who is who, and I know who my boss is, I know who the manager is, but I'm just calling on the radio, can I get a manager? Can I get a manager? I'm saying that because I actually don't know who my manager is, to be honest. And so it's just very good to introduce yourself and to introduce others when you're onboarding people as to this is the manager. This is such and such title. This is the supervisor. Blah, blah, blah. This right here is a lead. Blah, 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 blah. And so it's just good to have that ready for newbies, because when I come in, I know, okay, that's my manager. That is who I report to directly. Oh, this person is on the same level as me, so I should probably listen to them over them. And so it just helps me in my mentality as a new person, know who I should be listening to, who should be my blueprint versus who maybe I shouldn't be listening to you as much, because this person should, being the key word there, should know what they are doing above all else, and they should be a leader. And so another thing that is important as to why there should be clear roles within the workplace is that I personally believe that leadership should be respected. And in the jobs that I've had in the past, leadership wasn't always respected on the same level, depending on what the job was. And so there's been various levels of disrespect. But I believe that leaders should be respected. I believe that older people should be respected. And so in certain cases, it's sometimes you see younger people, and it's not just because they know more. It's just because in general, you just respect each other as human beings. In general, you should respect each other. But I've heard some things in my days that I'm just no, child. No, that is your boss. You are not friends. There is a clear distinction there, and you do not speak to them like that. And so I've just been taken aback in my time in the workforce as to how some of these younger kids or how some of these people who are under certain other people speak to their supervisors, how they speak to authority, how they speak to people who are older than them, how they speak to people who have more tenure than them, how they speak to people who they think they know more than them, but you might not necessarily. And so I just can't stand the general lack of disrespect because everyone thinks that they're on the same level, when it's there are levels, there are roles to this for a reason. This is a job. This is a company. We want it to be profitable. We want it to run well. And so everyone can't be on the same level, because then it's just pure chaos, right? And so when someone is above you, even if you think you know more than them, which you might not, you might just be full of yourself, you have to maintain a certain level of respect for that role. If you don't even respect the person alone, at least have respect for the role that they have, okay? And so I just want there to be a clear distinction between management, supervisors, leaders, shift leads, and like everybody else, so that there is just a general respect for those who are above you, just for the sake of respect. Like, do not disrespect your leaders, do not disrespect management and supervisors just because, And so that's why having like clear, distinct roles and like levels of management is important to know, so that you're not just accidentally disrespecting somebody. So, I mean, a good rule in general is to not disrespect anybody. Just treat everyone as a nice, normal human being. And so lastly, I just wanted to talk about clear job roles themselves. So this is something that I would suggest. It's not for every business, but for some businesses it would be applicable, where how the business operates, a lot of people know how to do a lot of different things, right? So when you get the job, you're not necessarily going to be doing just one thing. They kind of want you in a bunch of different spots. And so in that case, I believe it is very important to have clear job roles listed, right? So when I come into my shift, there should be a paper list somewhere, or somebody should know exactly who is working what position on that day. Everyone should have no doubt as to what their role is. In addition, this is the job of the leader. This is the job of your managers. The people who are higher up should be determining this. People who are coming into the shift should not just be determining their job all willy-nilly. This is not a choose your own adventure. This is a company. This is an organization. This wants to be a profitable organization. And so for it to be profitable, it should run well. And so that's why I think it's very important for there to be a designated list of roles and job positions for each day if you operate a business in which people can change positions regularly from shift to shift. That way I come in and I have no doubt in my mind what I will be doing that day. I do not have to guess. I do not have to assign myself a job. I come in, refer to the job list, and I know exactly what I will be doing for the day. And what's also important in those distinctions of having those clear job roles and those job positions picked out for the day for each individual, you also need to have a thorough description as to what that job entails. Everybody should know what each job entails. There should be like a checklist somewhere as to what you need to be keeping in mind as you are operating in that position for the day. Because a lot of times things get missed, things get forgotten about, and you forget to do things because there's no like, oh, in this role, I am responsible for A, B, C, D. Those are my main responsibilities, and those are what I focus on. And so a lot of times you get distractions popping up with customers and clients and people and yelling and screaming and incidents. You got to clean something up. And so those distractions take away from what your main job is. And so if you don't have a solid foundation as to what A, B, C, D is of your job role, you're going to be all up in here. And by the time you know it, your shift is done, and then the closing crew is like, what in the world? You didn't do A, B, C, or D while you were on the job. And you're like, well, I was doing this, so I got something done. But no, you didn't do your main job role. You didn't check off A, B, C, D, and made sure that you were responsible for getting that done during your shift. And so, yeah, that's why I personally believe it is very important to have very clear, distinct job roles and job descriptions every single day for the job or company, wherever you may be, because it just helps eliminate confusion. Because you're like, I thought Billy was in charge of that. I thought Susan was supposed to file those papers. I thought Joe was supposed to call that number. I thought Marianne was supposed to email that thing. You wouldn't have those thoughts if you had clear, distinct roles and a clear checklist of responsibilities that each of those roles has. So it just helps to eliminate confusion. It helps to eliminate things getting missed and put to the side. And so those are just my general thoughts about having clear roles in the workplace. So there should be a clear distinction between management, supervisors, leads, everyone else. There should be a whole like levels of authority. I should know exactly who I'm speaking to and what their role is in the business. And leadership should be respected, but also leadership should lead the charge, right? Leadership should be the one that you go to, you can depend on consistently to know they know what your role is going to be. They determined what your role was going to be before the shift started, and they told you exactly what your responsibilities are going to be, and you are not going in there blind and just picking your own adventure, because this is not a choose your own adventure. It is a profitable business and we want to keep it profitable so that you can get paid, the boss can get paid, the corporation can get paid, and we can just keep the ball rolling. So yeah, this is just some of my thoughts about training, but is it really training? So these are just some of the things that I've experienced in my past life when it comes to being in the workforce and being new in the workforce and having to go through that onboarding process and things that I thought would help me eliminate some confusion on my first day or my first week or my first month of working. Let me know if any of these tips made sense. Let me know if I'm rambling on. Let me know if I'm just talking complete nonsense and businesses don't need anything like this. But yeah, I just think that there should be clear roles within the workplace. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I hope you found this enjoyable, and I hope you found it a little bit educational. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. So until next time, goodbye.